Fake tree versus real tree. Which one is better? Or the question maybe should be, which one is better for you? We're going to look at the pros and cons today, and then you can decide. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to Marlene's How To's, my home and garden channel.
So first we're going to be taking a look at the pros for the real Christmas tree. And the first one on my list would be the smell. This smells absolutely wonderful out here. This one is a Douglas fir, and these are between 7 to 8 feet is what they're saying. And over here we have the Douglas fir. And guys, it is the essential oils in these plants that are making them have this wonderful smell. So seasonal, and they just really help to lift and lighten your mood. The next thing is that they look more authentic, which makes sense. What happens is that the leaves basically position themselves when they're growing so they get maximum sunlight. So you see like any gaps that you have to fill in or any fluffing that you have to do, because everything is perfectly lined up and it has that real nice shape that we're always looking for. No price on here, but they typically run between $80 and $100 depending on the size. Of course, you have different size trees, different types like these right here. These have a little bit more fluffier form in how they grow. And this one is actually a juniper blue point, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And then the next thing is that they are more eco-friendly. The real Christmas trees are more eco-friendly. This is a nice footage that my son got in our backyard. A little blue jay was there getting some water from the bird bath. And so, of course, I love to, preserve the environment as much as I can. And buying these, in these containers means that you can plant them in your garden. You can plant them in woodland areas. You can have them donated to someone who will. But I'd say always make sure that you check on the space, look at the labels on the plant and see, what size they may grow to, because, you want to make sure that you're able to fit this into your garden. So like this one here, this one says it's a dwarf Alberta spruce. And so you have to look at it to see, does it make sense for where you are? And if not, you can always give them to someone that it makes sense for them. The next thing is disposing of them is also more eco-friendly, because these are going to break down over time. Sometimes they're used for mulch. They may be used for, in compost heaps. But either way, when you're disposing of your tree, it's always good to contact your local area to see the best ways that you can do this. They have pickups, they have centers and different things like that. The next thing is the family bonding time that you get if you go to a tree farm and cut your own tree down. The drive out is usually nice, very scenic and everything. So you have that wonderful time for family and friends if you wanted to do it with friends. It just depends on what you prefer. So it's always good to pick out the one that's perfect for your home. Some people may just go to the tree lot in their garden center, which is just as fine too. You have that special time when you go out, in the outdoors and you're looking for the tree that is best for your home and for your family. So that's a wonderful time there. The next thing is that they have versatility, because this right here, this is actually a rosemary bush that they have trimmed into that shape of a Christmas tree. And so when the season is over, you can use it to cook. You can make teas that are so good for your body. And of course, you can decorate them whichever way you want. If you want to have something that's a little bit more woodsy, a little more like a woodland type of a theme for outdoors, you can dress them, that rustic look if you like. Or if you want, you can always glam them up, get out your ornaments, your decorations, whatever you're putting on there. Have some beautiful ribbons right here. It's going for gold and white that time. So you can always dress them up, however you like. We also had some icicles, some snowflakes, over here that work really well. So it just depends on what your style is. But either way, whether you're dressing them up or down, they have that great versatility, inside or outside. Now let's take a look at the cons of them. And the first one is that there are color limitations. You don't have a lot of color choices as far as real trees are concerned, which makes sense. They're typically green, but in some cases you may get some blue-green ones like this one right here. And we saw so many blue-green evergreens when we went to Pigeon Forge, and I thought that was wonderful. And of course you're going to plant these. Another thing that is that they're not flocked. Typically you buy your artificial trees, you can choose a flocked one if you like, but these are not flocked, but you can actually get them flocked. There are people who you could pay to do that for you, or you can always watch some kind of inspirational video and see how to get that done yourself. Next is the transportation. Of course, you have to put it in the back of your vehicle if you have a truck like this, or maybe an SUV or some other type of vehicle that you can put it there, but you have to lug it on home with you. So there's that side to it. Next is the watering part. Of course, if it's a tree that, it's a fresh tree, you're going to have to water it. So you'll need to get something, one of these stands right here that you're going to go ahead and place it in when you get home. They normally cut the bottom off so there's not a plug on there and your plant can suck the water up and stay fresh longer. And of course, there are different price ranges that, are available just depending on, what's in your budget. The next thing is that they could possibly be a fire hazard, even though, you may try to keep them fresh. The fact is that the oils are in the pines, the pine needles or whatever type of evergreens you have. And those oils make it a little bit more flammable when they start to dry out. So it's always advised to keep it a few feet away from your fireplace if you have one going. So that way you don't have to worry about that happening. And just a pause to say that if you love flowers and gardening even half as much as I do, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. And I'll be decorating my porch candy cane for this Christmas, so be sure to subscribe so you can follow along and see what I'm up to. The next thing is ribbons. Ribbons, they go on more easily when you're doing an artificial tree like this one right here. But when you're doing them on a fresh Christmas tree, you'll want to go in and you kind of have to wire them in so they stay in place. So that would be something that's going to be a little bit more work if you're using ribbons. The next thing, of course, you're not going to come with any lights on them. They're not going to be pre-lit, which we understand that. So if you don't like lights, hanging lights and all of that, then that's something that you'd have to bear in mind when you're getting those. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the pros for the artificial Christmas trees. And the first thing is that they come flocked. Some of them are flocked, so you can see how they're looking here, that nice white color that some people prefer. So it's already done for you. So one less thing to have to consider. Of course, you have different sizes and shapes as well. You have the green ones right here. Some of them are lit, some of them are pre-lit. And of course, you have many different colors. This is a red tree right here. I never thought I would get one of those, but some people like it and it works for them. There's a black one there as well. I know someone who has a black Christmas tree, and she says that she uses red, white, and gold on it. So you also have tinsel trees right here like this one. So there's so many choices. There's a blue one in the background right there. Some of them are kind of like a frosted type of a look. So you have many different types. And you can see how they're shaping some of these out over here. And the prices, of course, you're seeing different price ranges there as well. So lots and lots to choose from in that regard. The next thing is that it already comes. It's easy for you to take it home because it's in a box, or sometimes in some cases it can be delivered right to your doorstep. So it already comes that way. So you don't have that part to, to consider because it's more portable in terms of getting it to you. Next pro is that they actually come pre-lit, many of them. So if you don't like that whole lighting thing, then there you go. It's already done for you. And I prefer that myself. Over here now you're seeing that we have, like different prices on here. The prices are, it is a little higher at the start, but over time it's going to pay for itself because you're going to keep using it and using it again. And, of course, you don't need to water them, because it is an artificial tree. So that's something that you don't have to think about. So I'd say it's fairly low maintenance once everything is set in place. And they also say too that if you use it for maybe like about 6 or 7 years, like, over time, it has a less of an impact on the environment because you're not getting like a new tree every year. But as you can see, the more fantastic they look is the higher the price range. So also bear those things in mind. It can go pretty high, but then it will pay for itself over time. So definitely worth considering. And of course, like I was saying before, the ribbons, it goes in a lot more easily. And I like using ribbons on my trees. So, that's a plus for me there. But of course, there are the other advantages too of having a fresh Christmas tree. So you can see me going and putting it in right there. And I think it, happened pretty easily there. Now taking a look at the other side, which is the cons of having a artificial tree. Right here, my husband is doing the unboxing. So you're going to have to do the unboxing and then go in and you'll need to assemble it. And sometimes some of the parts can be a little bit heavy. So typically he does this part for me. This one has 3 different parts that you have to put together. And you're going to go and stack them and, make sure that everything is properly connected. And you can see him taking it out there. And of course, there are pretty good instructions to follow, but nevertheless, it's something that you have to do. I even saw once where they put the middle part, they turn it upside down because it's connected, and you have to hook up the lights and everything. But again, once it's just snaps of 3 little spots on there. So once you have that going, you're pretty much good to go. Now, because they don't have a smell though, I was told by someone at the store that you can actually use this right here, and it smells pretty close to the ones that would be fresh trees, but nothing like the organic feeling that you get when it comes from there directly. Then of course there's a fluffing. Again, my husband likes to do the fluffing. He's pretty good at it, so I just go ahead and let him do it. Also to either tree that you're using, bear in mind that a lot of people nowadays are using collars, tree collars. You can see different types here. You have like this one is this is a rattan, looks like wicker to me, but pretty much one and the same. You can see the price right there. And then we also have the whiskey barrel look that they have. There's metals, there's felt, many different types. Now, as far as being a fire hazard, I'm not saying that if you have an artificial tree that you can never have a fire hazard from it, because you have to check the outlets, make sure that you're not loading your, the plugins, in too many places, but it's less likely to happen. But you still have to make sure that your fireplace is properly protected, maybe glass in front of it that's tempered, or maybe like some kind of a mesh or something, so if anything pops off, it's not gonna go and catch onto your tree. So just some things to bear in mind, and a little bit of spacing never hurts too. It's best to not put things that are flammable too close to your fireplace. So that's as far as positioning your tree goes. Always bear those things in mind. And just to say that I'd love for you to leave me a comment to say whether or not you are for fake trees, or artificial trees as we call them, or if you're on team real tree. Leave me a comment and let me know which one you prefer and the reason why. And either way, whichever one you prefer, it's a matter of the experience of going through decorating their families. We used to have our kids put the star on the top to feel a part of the process, and that's really what the season is all about. So go ahead, and as you choose your trees, choose them that suit you best. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey, as we say, and get your wonderful themes together for what you plan to do, for your colors, whatever you wanted to use, your ribbons, and, just enjoy the process. So I do want to thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out my video coming up next. Subscribe so you can get to see it. Enjoy the holiday season. Merry Christmas. See you in the next video. Take care.